Oh, hey. Taconic's got their 2025 Christmas release and a new distillery single barrel. Let's talk about it. We're doing a double review this time, so get ready. So I decided to do these two releases from Taconic. One, because they both came out very recently. They are not exactly seasonal, but essentially seasonal releases. The Christmas release, they've been doing these bottlings for a few years now, and this year I think has the best label. They've been doing a fun little Christmas tree release for the label, and I liked it. It was good, but this one just kind of like feels like nostalgia in a glass with the Taconic barn house on it. It's decorated for Christmas. I really dig it. The other barrel is the distillery release single barrel. It is probably the highest proof bourbon I've ever seen from them at 135 proof. So it's pretty good. What I like to see is that Taconic is constantly releasing these single barrels at the distillery, and they're starting to become more informative with it. So before, they were all under the Fox and Hare for the ryes, and then the Horse and Jockey label for the bourbons, which are really cool labels and I love them a lot, but they didn't carry a lot of information. It was hard to tell if it was a new single barrel, if it was one I already had, so on and so forth. So what I really enjoy about this one is that this is the first time that they have put the barrel number right on the bottle. Huge fan of that. Hope they keep doing that. That way I can know which ones I need to keep grabbing, right? I also thought that this would be a fun pairing today because they're both Taconic bourbon, but the Christmas release, as well as the Halloween releases that they do, it's always at 100 proof. So nice and easy, very approachable. Honestly, I love Taconic bourbon at 100 proof. I think it's just a really good proof point for them. And then with the distillery single barrel being cask strength, it's a really good comparison to have the two together. I think it's a fun duality to show off what Taconic is capable of. So this one here is 100 proof. Again, very approachable. It has a lot of really good sweet caramels. This is at least 5 years old. It's probably got a decent amount of 6-year-old in it as well, if not all 6 years and older. It's got really good cherry notes hidden throughout. It's not medicinal cherry, it's more like your old-fashioned cherry in the glass kind of cherry. It really is just like buttery smooth. It isn't going to blow your mind with like a punch of face of flavor, but it's not meant to. This one is $50, and you get a lot from that $50. This isn't to the point where I would want to use it in a cocktail. I think that that would be kind of a sad use for it because it is much better than that. This is something that I would want to drink neat, maybe have it on the rocks if that's your thing, but I wouldn't want to lose the flavors that are going on here to a bunch of different flavors that you would get in like a cocktail or even an old fashioned. What I can appreciate here is that there's really nothing bad that you can say about it overall. It's got a good nose, it's got a good palate, it's got a good finish. It's just 100 proof, right? So it's not gonna punch us hard, but everything is gonna be extremely enjoyable. And honestly, if I needed a pour for Christmas dinner or something with the in-laws or something along those lines, this would be a fantastic pour because it's not going to be something that someone's like, oh yeah, let me try some whiskey, and they sip it and they just like blow their mind because it's cask strength. No, this is at 100 proof. I think this really shines. I'll go ahead and do the actual reviews and scores at the end. But for now, just know that the 100 proof Taconic, the 2025 Christmas edition, it's a great release. If you have never had Taconic and you're just kind of like bourbon curious, want to see what they're about, this is honestly a great place to start. It is mellow, has a great profile, and it honestly kind of falls in line with almost like, it's hard to describe because it has a similar profile to me, kind of like Buffalo Trace, but if you took the grape out of Buffalo Trace and you added more depth, Buffalo Trace always comes across as thin and kind of lackluster to me. I know a lot of people love it, but there's just not a lot going on for me. And I think that this kind of solves those problems. It has that easily approachable profile. It's sweet, it's fruity, it's got some caramels and vanillas, but at the same time, it makes you want to keep going back for more because it does have a good mouthfeel and it does have a little more depth and personality to it. All right, we're gonna move on from the 100 proof and start diving into the cask strength distillery single barrel. This is single barrel 1641, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure that's right. It just dials everything up. It's so good. But before we really start talking about that, I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about Taconic a little bit as well. So they are not a very old distillery. They've been around for a little bit now, starting in 2014. So a little over 10 years. They started with Paul Coughlin, who is the owner. He was originally in the finance world in New York and decided he wanted to move on and do something else. So him and his wife decided to go all in, and they found some acreage in an area they know, which is kind of in like the Hudson Valley area, pretty close to there. It's not far from like West Point, and they bought a couple hundred acres and decided to start making whiskey. It started as a hobby slash little passion project. They weren't expecting it to become what it has become. They do a lot of contract distilling for other companies. They obviously make a lot of products themselves, and it's just continued to evolve to become something truly spectacular. I've said for a very long time that Taconic had a lot of potential, and not that their stuff was bad. It just, for a while, it was just a little youthful. It just needed a little more time in the barrel. But you could really tell that even at a young age, it had a lot going on, and it was going to be something really, really good. I can say with confidence now that at 5.5 to 6 years old, their whiskey is delicious. It is so good. It has an affordable price point. It has a good story. It has hardworking, good people behind the brand. It's everything you kind of want from a whiskey. And the fact that it's from New York and has honestly more of that Kentucky profile than a lot of other smaller distilleries kind of just like brings it all to a really good place. This is a good like transition into craft for the people that only drink Kentucky and won't drink anything else. This is kind of something that I would recommend. So how did a guy in finance just end up being good at making whiskey? He kind of rigged the deck a little bit, let's say. So the reason why it also kind of has that Buffalo Trace feel a little bit is that the original master distiller for Taconic was one of the head distillers from Buffalo Trace right before Harlan Wheatley. So when you put into play that that's who set them up and got them started, it all kind of starts to make sense. The master distiller now, Pierce, is a young man who was trained by the previous master distiller, Buffalo Trace. I apologize, I can't remember his name. And Pierce has kind of just been around for a hot minute. He was doing this and that, and then started getting into distilling. And he's really just kind of taken to it, ran with it, and he's been doing a phenomenal job. He's been in the distilling position, oh gosh, it's been a while. So he's probably been distilling for at least 4 years, maybe even longer. So it's a very high probability that some of the stuff we're sipping on is stuff that he has distilled, which for a dude who's still under 30, I believe, my man is crushing it. Like, it is phenomenal, the job that he's doing over there. And I can't say enough good things about him. He's just a good dude as well. Taconic has always been about sustainability and taking care of the people around you and making sure that everything is New York centric. So their grains are all sourced within a very close radius to the distillery. They only use local New York grain. All of the dunnage and stillage and everything like that is recycled and given back to the farmers for feed. And they just try and do everything that they can to take care of that beautiful area that they're located in. I apologize, the sun is kind of blasting me in the face this morning, but better than that than total darkness, I suppose. So let's talk about this distillery release. It really does just take the foundation from the Christmas release and just dial it up, which is nice because that shows that there's a consistency from Taconic, that their profile is relatively consistent with those cherry notes, those deep, rich caramels, not having a thin mouthfeel. It's not necessarily thick and viscous like I've had before, but it's like kind of in the in-between, right? So you combine those factors and you just get a really nice, enjoyable experience. But this kind of has that deep cherry cola kind of note going on. It is so good. And the one thing that kind of annoys me about Taconic with stuff like this is that this is their newest single barrel, and I had bought their other distillery single barrel that was released just prior to this, which was 131 proof, I believe, and then this one jumps up to 135. And I had said on my review on my website and on Instagram that that was my favorite bourbon single barrel they've ever released. And then this guy comes along, and now this is my favorite bourbon single barrel they've ever released. It's a good trend, don't get me wrong. Every single time they release a new single barrel, I'm like, oh, it's so good, this is the best one. But they really are continually growing, continually getting better. I'm so curious to see how things keep continuing to progress for them, because I'm not entirely sure where it can keep going. Like, this is already so good. It can't keep getting better than this. I mean, I'm excited for it too. I really hope it does. But if 10 years, a single barrel, if a 10-year-old age-stated single barrel comes out and it blows this out of the water, man, it's gonna be crazy. I kind of fixed the camera angle there because it's getting wacky. I am really impressed with this single barrel. It has earthy notes that you would like. It's got some like tobacco and leathers, but it really maintains a really good fruit profile, which is pretty hard to do. And it does a good job of balancing everything while maintaining a strong flavor profile. This is going to appeal to a lot of the whiskey nerds and a lot of the whiskey people. So whereas you have the Christmas release, which is very approachable and everyone will love, there's really nothing to hate about it. This one is going to be just something that wows a lot of the bourbon nerds. I apologize. I think the cold is making my camera wacky. It's doing all sorts of weird things with the angles. Here's what it is sometimes. So let's go ahead and dive into the actual review. If you are new here, thank you for joining. But I rate everything on a different scale than most. I don't believe in doing a number scale because it's so opinionated. Everyone's number is going to be different for a pour. It's not going to be universal to the individual. And at the end of the day, I could have a sip one day and then have a sip of the same exact thing the next day, and my number score can be different. So it doesn't seem like an absolute solution to a problem of you wanting to know what you want to drink. So the way I do things is I have a rating of pass for things that I either think are a terrible value or they just weren't ready to be released yet. Regardless, whoever released that should probably do a little bit better and think about what they did. I try not to be harsh, but very few things get passed. Try it kind of falls into that realm of a few different things. It either just didn't quite hit for me, or maybe I even loved it, but I think the value is off. It's a little too high, or the flavor profile is just so unique that I'm not sure everyone's gonna love it. So those are kind of the things that fall into try it. Buy it is kind of where everything kind of tends to fall into a little bit. Buy it is, this is a really good pour. If you have the extra income and you can pull off getting another bottle without your whole family falling apart, go ahead and buy it. Treat yourself. And then hoard it. Hoard it is those bottles that are truly special. You need to just go out and get it. Don't even worry about it. You can figure out the finances later. Go grab one. Maybe go grab a second one. You know, there's something you're gonna want on your shelf. But don't screw up your finances. That's messed up. All right. So where does the Taconic 2025 Christmas edition fall? That one for me is going to get a buy it rating. It's really good. It's $50. It's an approachable pour. Everyone's gonna enjoy it. And at the end of the day, if you have not had Taconic Distillery before, it's a great jumping off point. It's a very easy and approachable profile that can give you a good idea of what they're releasing. Moving over to Distillery Single Barrel 1641. This one's gonna get a hoard it from me. I am over the moon with how this turned out. I think this is probably their best single barrel to date. Sometimes they have a maple profile that comes through just on their bourbon naturally. This doesn't quite have that. So maybe that's a spot for improvement. But it's got that dark cherry cola. It's got some nice earthy notes. It has some plum. It has a lot of fruit forward characteristics without losing those bourbon backbones and those earthy backbones. And I enjoy it a lot. So go ahead and pick this one up. These are both available on Taconic's website. So they ship to most states, which means you can actually get their bottles, which is really nice. The Christmas release is bound to disappear soon. So if that's the one you have your eye on, I would act sooner than later. The Distillery Single Barrel just hit their website at the time of releasing this video. It's been on there for maybe a week. That one is $100. $100 is not cheap, but I strongly recommend grabbing it. It's so good. It's worth it, I promise. With all that out of the way, I am a small channel. If you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe. It really helps me out. Drop a few comments. Let me know what you like or didn't like. And at the end of the day, may your trails be empty and the glass is full. Thanks for joining me.